Honorable President of the General Assembly, chairs and distinguished delegates, amongst many member states, we have seen that the root cause of an aging population comes from the declining birth rate. And Clause 3 of the resolution effectively tackles this issue before dealing with the aging population itself. From the Do It for Denmark campaign in Denmark to la Code de la Famille in France, we have seen the immense success of pro-natalist policies in increasing the birth rate. For example, France now has the highest total fertility rate in Europe, thanks to its adamant pro-natalist policies. So, with a greater working population arising from a higher birth rate, we can expect lower dependency ratios, which means less burden on the pension funds and the national economy. On the contrary, we have also witnessed the failures of idleness and anti-natalist policies when it comes to population issues. For example, China's one-child policy has resulted in an irreversible decline in population with serious economic repercussions, which must be avoided at all costs. So, 1, this clause, along with the resolution as a whole, acknowledge the need for pro-natalist policies, and 2, that provides viable solutions that actually incentivize human reproduction, and 3, this resolution reduces the aging population ratio. So as a long-term solution, we urge all delegates to support this resolution and work together to achieve a more prosperous future for all. Thank you.
Delegates, there's a distinct murmur on the floor. Please give the speaker the respect that they deserve. Okay, delegate, do you open yourself up to any points of information?
Any and all.
Okay, delegates open themselves up to any and all points of information. Any delegates wishing to make such points, please raise up placards now. Delegates of China, United Kingdom, Ukraine, and Jordan, you've been recognized.
Delegate, you said that our economy will be crippled due to the fact that the one-child policy has decreased our population. However, are you not aware that we have economic policies in place to ensure that we'll have a smooth transition while our population is lowering, therefore decreasing the world's overpopulation crisis?
Thank you for the question. Whilst we agree that economic policies can have an impact on the economic prosperity and the declining population, we're also aware that the foreign direct investment in China has been decreasing ever since that China's population became the second in the world, which has been decreasing. Are you not aware, delegate?
There'll be no direct dialogue between delegates, so yes, that was a rhetorical question.
Thank you, Delegate, for your speech. However, we would like to ask the delegation, how can you possibly support a resolution which does not address any of the topics at hand? Delegate, this resolution is based around if this resolution was based around helping elder care within member nations, it would wholly comprehensively solve the issue at hand, but it's not. This resolution is focused on aging populations. How can you possibly support a resolution which does not address almost any of this topic at hand and does not have almost any effect towards the topic?
Thank you, delegate, for the excellent question. This resolution, although addresses short-term policies, we also need to keep in mind of the long-term policies. By increasing the total fertility rate, we can have a larger proportion of the population that participate in labor, which would actually decrease the older dependency ratio in the population, thus further allowing for better lifestyles for the older population, because we're effectively making our economy stronger and stronger by having more workforce participation rates.
Right to respond?
That will not be in order. We'd just like to remind all delegates to keep PYs and their responses brief.
Would the delegate not have to agree that in clauses including but not limited to Clause 2, Subclause I, regular inspections to companies without having informed them prior, which would include talking to the employees without an employer present regarding their parental status, this vagueness and lack of overseeing sub-body may be compromising to the resolution's overall comprehension and potential to be implemented?
Thank you, Delegate, for the excellent question. However, we cannot agree because it says in Clause 2, Subclause C, Subclause I, that we are actually specifying how to implement these policies by talking to the employers and the companies, which is the root cause of parents not having enough parental leaves, and we're actively communicating with these companies, which is very specific enough.
Right to reply.
That will not be in order due to time constraints.
Wouldn't the delegate agree? Forced education and sports programs will lead to less time spent with parents with kids, and this will lead to a lower quality of life for elderly parents.
Could the delegate rephrase or repeat the question, please?
Wouldn't the
Delegate, please repeat or rephrase that question.
Wouldn't the delegate agree that forced education and sports programs will lead to less time spent with parents with kids and will lead to a lack of resentment and abandonment that the kids will feel, decreasing the time spent with their elderly parents in their later years?
Yeah, we absolutely agree that a lack of resentment would mean that the children would feel more. So could you repeat the
Delegate,
question,
please, no direct dialogue. Due to time constraints, Delegate, please track the point of information.
Wouldn't forced education and sports programs lead to resentment and a lack of time spent with elderly parents in their later years?
Whilst we agree to some extent that it would impact relationships, intergenerational relationships, we would have to disagree with your point because having children participating in sports programs, they can form a better social relationships with their friends, which are more beneficial to their overall development rather than staying at home.
That will not be in order. Okay, thank you. Please yield your time.
Thank you.